I'm sure that many of us have had a pet throughout our lives. Perhaps we are or were very close to that animal. I know as I was growing up, I always enjoyed playing with all the dogs that we had. Not everyone shows the kindness that we do towards these animals that we call our pets. This brings about my topic, animal cruelty. This is a problem that we don't really hear much about, besides a few exceptions. There are organizations out there who fight for the rights of animals, and I believe we should do our part to help them reach their goals. As said in the Legal Almanac series, Animal Rights Laws by Margaret Jasper, there are 3 types of organizations that have different movements. These are animal welfare, strict animal rights, and animal liberation. Today I will try to persuade you on how we should do more to help fight for animal rights, by first giving you background information, and then I will talk about why this is a problem, and finally I will give you suggestions on how we can make a difference. To begin, I will talk about animal cruelty and some facts. One of the interesting things that I researched was that the tie between animal cruelty and abuse to other humans. As stated in the National Humane Education Society website, more than 2 decades of psychological and sociological research reveals that barbarous acts towards animals often leads to brutality towards humans. Such violence has been observed in serial killers who begin practicing with animals. This alone should be grounds to have stricter laws on animal abuse. One of the most common forms of animal abuse is dogfighting, and possibly the most known case to us is that of NFL quarterback Michael Vick. As said on the Animal Legal Defense Fund website, Michael Vick and 3 of their associates trained over 50 pit bulls, staged fights, killed dogs, and held gambling rings. As seen on the federal indictment of Vick, in April 2007, they had executed at least 8 dogs that did not perform well in testing by various forms of hanging, drowning, and slamming them into the floor. He was sentenced to 23 months in jail. Another thing that I saw is there's a video that I saw on the internet of a girl who has a box of puppies, and she goes down to the river and she proceeds to throw them into the river one by one. She was later found, for whatever reason she recorded this, she was then later found and charged. Now I will explain why I believe that animal abuse is a problem. Perhaps the reason why people believe that it is not such a big problem to abuse animals is because the animals are non-human. Even though all 50 states have laws, there is something called the standard of proof. As said in the Encyclopedia Animal Rights Laws by Margaret Jasper, when an offense occurs, each qualifier carries with it a standard of proof, which must be met in order to find the defender liable. Most of the time there is not enough evidence to prosecute. I believe this happens because most acts happen at a house, and the general public cannot really see what's going on someone else's property. The law helps, but to a certain extent. I think it should be stricter. Only 8 states classify animal cruelty as a misdemeanor, and most other states do not press charges until the animal has died. Now I'll give you some easy steps to prevent animal cruelty. There are a few steps that we can take in order to help fight against animal cruelty. One of those is helping support organizations such as PETA, People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, and ASPCA, American Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. PETA.org offers many ways in which you can help support their fight. They suggest sending emails to companies that make fur coats. One recommendation of mine is to sign up for their action team, which informs you on events that hold awareness to their cause. Helping out is very simple, because if each of us writes an email, we can make a difference. Donating money is always another easy way, because a lot of dog shelters are overpopulated, and by donating money we can help build more shelters for these abandoned and abused animals. Lastly, a way to help is by reporting abuse to local shelter or the police. Today I have informed you on some of the background information. Then I stated why I believe animal abuse is a problem, and I gave you a few suggestions how we can make a difference. Even though we do not hear about all the animal abuse that goes on, doesn't mean we do not have to do anything to stop it. Animals feel and think just as we do, and should not fall victim to these cruel acts. I hope that I've persuaded you to each take steps to make a difference in helping animals gain the rights that they deserve. Not only that, but to educate people around you to do the same. These are the protesters when Michael Vick was taken to court. And this is PETA website, this is the Humane Society of the Desert and the phone number. And then these are some laws that call protected rights. It's the right to nourishment and adequate living conditions, the right to protection from abandonment, the right to protection from poisoning, and the right to humane transportation.